Yet another week of Oktoberfest, and this time we're reviewing German beers. What's up guys, Sergeant Suds here. I'm continuing my Oktoberfest experiment series. I originally planned this to be a 4-part series, but I kind of acquired a little bit more Oktoberfest beer than I thought I would in this period of time. So this is going to go a little longer. Today we are, I guess, paying homage to the origin of Oktoberfest by doing a review of German beers. And you're going to get a little bit of extra fun here because I don't know how to pronounce all of these. I'm probably going to sound like an idiot. I mean, Hofbrau's easy, but the other two, it could go either way. So let's see what we got. So first we have Weihenstephaner. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it. Anyone who's German out there or speaks German who wants to correct me, go ahead. Their Fest beer. We also have Hacker Pschorr. I'm probably butchering that again. German is not my forte. And Hofbrau, which is easy enough. Again, that's how we would pronounce it here in Texas. I could be very wrong. So let's see. Let's start with the hardest to pronounce. We'll go with the Weihenstephaner. I don't know. But I'm expecting big things, you know. Oktoberfest being a German festival. It'd be interesting to see what the Germans have to add to their own deal. Obviously, I've reviewed so far 9 American beers in the Oktoberfest style, and I've had a pretty good time doing so. If you haven't seen the other reviews to this point, I will put a little link up here somewhere and also down here in the description for you to go ahead and take a look at those. If you like what you see, please go back and support those ones too. So, the Weihenstephaner, whatever. The first thing I'm noticing compared to the American beers, this is very, very light. You know, usually when I'm talking about an Oktoberfest beer, we're talking about Marzen style beer. Usually we're using toasted malts, a little bit darker color, get those kind of earthy tones sometimes. But this one's smelling very light and crisp. You know, I mean, this looks kind of what I would expect, at least an American summer lager to look like, as opposed to an Oktoberfest beer. Got a nice strong head on it. It's holding its shape. Looks like there's a little bit of lacing going on around the glass, and it is highly, highly carbonated, as you can see, hopefully, bubbling away there. Slightly hoppy smell, and let's see how it tastes. So there's a little bit more of a kick than I would anticipate. You know, again, if this were an American beer, but the fact that it was brewed in Europe, I'm kind of not surprised by the fact it has quite a deep, rich, malty flavor. A little bit of hops added on top. I mean, this is a really nice and crisp beer. I hear great things. In fact, I have heard from somebody that when they went to Germany, they started drinking Weihenstephaner, and it ruined beer for them everywhere else because he swears by every one of the different brews they make, and he claims that it is the best beer on the planet. Now, not sure I'd go that far, but I will say this is a very nice beer. All right, moving along. Let's see. Let's go for the Hofbrau. So Hofbrau here in San Antonio has a presence. Obviously, growing up in Australia, they had a presence there as well. In my opinion, the better known of the 3. Oh, this isn't a good sign. It's starting to bubble over a little. Might have a little bit of an infection. Let's see how it goes. And in my haste to get it in the glass and not on the table, I have messed it up a little bit there with a, well, you can see a nice thick head. Very, very strong head, not really going anywhere. It looks like it's going to lace pretty well. And again, we're looking at a very highly carbonated, very light colored beer, if you can see, you know, beneath the several inches of fluff. Let's see. It doesn't smell as strong as the Weihenstephaner. I'm expecting this one to be sort of relatively crisp, but again, European beer tends to be a little more pronounced. More developed in flavor, particularly when it looks like this, as opposed to, you know, a lot of the American beers, which tend to be a lot lighter and crisper. So let's see how we fare with this one.
surprisingly, it's pretty quiet, I guess, would be the way to describe it on the palate. I mean, it's malty, and it just tastes like a lager. You know, this is really would translate similarly to like the St. Arnold fancy lawnmower, or even their like 5 o'clock pills. Very, very light in flavor. I mean, it doesn't taste bad. It's just not kind of the deep, robust flavor profile I would have probably expected from an Oktoberfest beer. But again, I mean, is it necessarily calling it a Marzen? Not really. So I suppose, you know, there's no surprise there necessarily. Yeah, the mouthfeel is very, very crisp. I mean, it's more malt forward than a lot of the American beers, but it's, you know, very crisp and light for what I would expect at this time of year for Oktoberfest. So interesting. Maybe the malty Marzen style thing is more of an American taste, because, well, I suppose we'll find out. If we go 3 for 3 on these light, crisp lagers, I'm going to be a little confused as to exactly why Oktoberfest beers in America seem to all be so similar. So we're on the Hacker Pschorr. This one says it's an amber Marzen, so we're expecting this to be quite a bit deeper in color and probably in flavor profile as well. And not really, from what I can see. I mean, it's a little deeper maybe. But I wouldn't say this is like on par with the sort of toasted, oh, maybe so. So for reference, you have the Hacker Pschorr here versus the Hofbrau and the Weihenstephaner. So it's a little darker, and it's not quite as carbonated looking. Did build a very solid head, and looks like it's going to lace well. I mean, all 3 of the beers did. It's a bit maltier. It doesn't really smell toasted, so I'm not really sure what to expect from this one. This has kind of blown my mind, but let's see how it goes. So this one has a little bit more of the typical Marzen note that I'm accustomed to, having been drinking Oktoberfest beers in the States for the past few years. It is malt forward, has a little bit of a toasted flavor to it, but again, it doesn't play it up nearly as much as its American cousins do. It's still very thin. You know, I mean, it's not, again, a summer lager or anything, but it's got quite a thin mouthfeel compared to what I would expect. But it's also, as I said, you get a little bit of those malts, tiny little bit of hops. I mean, you could drink tons of this. You could drink tons of all 3 of them, and I guess that's why it's popular at this time of year. You know, you see the images of all these people singing along, giant stein in the tents for hours on end. So, I mean, when you think of it that way, I guess it's not really that surprising that all 3 of these beers are sort of lighter than what I've experienced in previous weeks. But in saying that, I mean, they're all quite good too. Now, the interesting question here is, which is my favorite? Honestly, I'm probably going to have to go with the Hacker Pschorr, if only because it's more what I expect from an Oktoberfest brew, and I know that sounds kind of ridiculous, being that these are German beers consumed in and around Oktoberfest. So it's probably weird for me to turn around and say, well, no, this is the most Oktoberfest of the Oktoberfest beers. But, you know, again, frame of reference and personal taste, Hacker Pschorr is probably my favorite. Secondly, I would probably go with the Weihenstephaner. As I said, very, very thin, a little bit more of a flavor profile. The Hofbrau coming in third, it disappointed me a little bit, honestly. You know, again, I am a fan of this style of beer, but it just doesn't really resonate with Oktoberfest in my opinion. So I'm going to have to go 1, 2, 3. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you can tell me how I messed up any of these pronunciations, make sure and leave a comment below, because I would like to learn. I hope to see you around next time. As I said, I have at least 1 more of these Oktoberfest reviews coming up, and, you know, I'm putting up some other stuff as well. So be sure to check out some of the other stuff going on my channel, and until next time, cheers.